Hi and welcome to day 11 of Inktober Tangles challenge. I'm Anica CZT from Croatia and I'm happy that you joined me for the drawing session today. Today's tangle is a really cute one by Debbie New. The name is Bravensword. So if you check out the document that you will find the link to in the video description, and go to Stephanie Jennifer's file with all the Inktober Tangles and then visit Debbie's website. You will find the whole explanation of the name of this tangle and the step outs, and it's a really cute one. I'm just going to start drawing it. I'm starting with two orbs that I divided by one straight line, and then on top of each of these I will draw these kind of sea lines, but you see they are kind of lazy seas. They are not really deep seas. And then I will add like a line that's almost like a reverse S that connects them and goes through this middle part of the line. Kind of cute, really interesting, I think. And this is the basic shape of this tangle, and I will try to add one more on each side. So I will draw a line and two dots. Maybe this is a bit further away than it was before, which is fine. And then I will draw these lines. Well, on this side I can't even draw it because there is no space for it. I would draw it here, but there's no space for it. So I will just continue with adding this line that's like S-shaped to connect the two. And I think it's a very interesting and cute design. I'm thinking about adding something else to just connect it, like these lines. So this is something that's not in the step out. It's just my kind of interpretation of it. So if you don't like it, feel free to just do the thing without it. It looks like a delicate flower, right? I will do something that I saw many times Maria Thomas doing with some tangles. It's like a folded leaf effect, and I use it also quite often. And then, of course, I need to think about shading this. And I still haven't decided what to do with the next style. Will I do the same thing I did last year, where there were 3 times 3 tiles, so 9 tiles all together? I have done 10 tangles in 2 tiles, so I might be done with 6 this time. And this is why I will just take pencil, and I will, instead of doing 3 by 3, I will do only 2 and then see how things develop later. So I'm just outlining where the border will be, so it will go further down. The next tile will be right here below this one. Now I need to figure out the way to shade this tangle, and I'm thinking about maybe adding some dramatic part to it. And I'm thinking about which part would it be. Maybe like an aura line. This might be like a total failure, so maybe you might wait and see how this ends. But I'm brave, I'm trying it. adding these aura lines around and then inking it in just to get some contrast inside each of these, let's call them petals of this tangle. I'm not sure if they're meant to be petals, but it is what it is. It's really, you know, Zentangle is, as I said already, repeated, and as you know, it's a form of drawing abstract things. But still we like to think about those elements in terms of figurative elements. So, you know, we need to name things. I guess it's what they teach us in school and what they teach us throughout our lives, to name things and label things, which is totally unnecessary. So I'm thinking it's like a leaf shape, it's a rice shape, whatever it is. Maybe we just need to let go of this need to label everything. How would that be? I'm not even sure, because it's such an integral part of the way that we think about everything. I'm adding shades below this fold. I'm calling it fold again, the same thing, you know, labeling. But I guess it's also easier for me to try to explain what I'm doing if I have a name for whatever I'm doing, or the section that I'm working on. So maybe I never thought about it before. When I draw just by myself, I might not be as challenged to try to name everything and to word everything, which makes it so much more relaxing, of course. But I also like sharing, so I like naming it for you. What to do? I guess it's about finding the balance between the sharing, which also means naming, and just doing it for the joy of it without the labeling thing. I went deep into philosophical, you know, matters of Zentangle, which was not my intention, but then it's how my brain works. And then I'm adding highlights to this, you know, part where the petal is folded towards the top. And I'm also going to add some highlights to certain parts here next to my darkest shades and darkest sections, just to make it look more contrasting. Blending these shades, I'm not sure about blending highlights, blending the highlights. I'm not sure about blending the highlights. Well, these, I ended up blending them, but I'm trying to, you know, be mindful about not going over the black lines. And then maybe these are really, really small orbs, but I'm adding just a tiny, like, smiley shape and then blending it. And now I will take a jelly roll 10 and add an orb, a nice white dot inside of each of these. And then I will switch to an 05. I'm also adding some of this whitest highlight to some parts of the petal, which are next to the darkest parts again, and then taking an 05 just to add a small glimmer of light to the bottom of each of these orbs. Maybe because this is such a narrow space, I can also use it for this section, which is very narrow. And I think I did it. It's a really nice tangle. So I know that Debbie New has other wonderful tangles. So if you would like to explore more of them, visit her website. There are plenty of them, and some of them are really worth visiting and playing with. Maybe I thought I was finished, but then, you know, I'm thinking about several more orbs. I don't know why I thought that I need more orbs, but it is what it is now. They are here already. I don't even have to think about it or have an opportunity to think about it, and it's already happening. And this is actually what Zentangle helped me with, you know, in this creative process, where obviously there are no mistakes. I mean, nothing bad can come from an oopsie when you tangle. I'm getting so much more intuitive and fearless with drawing and experimenting and just listening to my intuition while I'm creating. Now between the two tangles, I will just add some lines up to a certain point, and then I will stop because I don't even know which tangles are coming next and where they will be placed on this surface. But for today, I think I'm finished, and I hope that you have maybe tangled with me and that you like what you have created. And I also hope that you will join me tomorrow too. Goodbye.